All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again to talk about should Christians celebrate Halloween. I wish we'd have to make these videos anymore. The last time I made a video like this was in 2023 about should we celebrate Halloween and did a little teaching on it. But here we are. I know there's a lot of new people getting saved, a lot of new Christians. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have some reactions at the end from ex-witches, ex-warlocks, people that were high up in the Satanic Church. I'm going to do like a 5 to 7 minute reaction to some of their clips of what they think about Halloween. But before we do that, I'm just going to read to you from the History Channel, the history of Halloween. Okay, if you don't know the history of Halloween, this is not a Christian publication, a Christian article I'm reading from the History. What was that? From the History Channel. This is just going to be their perspective. By the end of me sharing this from the History Channel, you should already be like, yeah, we probably shouldn't celebrate it. And here's what blows my mind. There's so many Christian influencers that are promoting Halloween and why it's okay to celebrate it. I'm like, who's paying them? Who's paying them to tell you you should celebrate a holiday of darkness? I don't understand it. You already know my stance on it, okay? Here's the irony. I don't know any deliverance ministers or any Christians that cast out demons that are saying you should celebrate it. Because people that are in spiritual warfare and cast out demons know the dark history, and there's no ex-witches, ex-satanic priests telling you to celebrate it. Only Christian influencers that are on the fence. Anyway, all right, from the History Channel, here we go. Samhain, which is modern day Halloween, is a pagan religious festival originating from an ancient Celtic spiritual tradition. In modern times, Samhain is usually celebrated from October 31st to November 1st to welcome in the harvest and usher in the dark half of the year. Again, this is not a Christian article. Celebrants believe that the barriers between the physical world and the spiritual world would break down during Samhain, allowing more interaction between humans and those from the other world. Ancient Celts marked Samhain as the most significant of the 4 quarterly fire festivals taking place at the midpoint between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. During this time of year, hearth fires in family homes were left to burn as the harvest was gathered. All right, after the festival or the harvest was done, celebrants joined the Druid priest to light a community fire using a wheel that would cause friction and spark flames. The wheel was considered a representation of the sun used along with prayers. Cattle were sacrificed and participants took a flame from the communal bonfire back to their homes to relight the hearth. Early texts present Samhain as a mandatory celebration lasting 3 days and 3 nights where the community was required to show themselves to the priestess and the chief. There was also a military aspect to Samhain because the Celts believed that the barrier between the world was breachable during Samhain. So they believed the spiritual realm, the barrier between the spiritual realm and the natural realm was thinnest on Samhain, which is now modern day Halloween. They prepared offerings that were left outside the villages and fields for fairies and Sids. It was expected that their ancestors might cross over during the time as well, and Celts would dress as animals, where we get dressing up from, and monsters so that fairies were not tempted to kidnap them. Some specific monsters were associated with mythology surrounding Samhain, including a shape-shifting creature called Puka that received harvest offerings from the field. The Lady Gwyn, as a headless woman dressed in white who chases night wanderers and is accompanied by a black pig. This is all demonic, ladies and gentlemen. All right. The Dullahan sometimes appeared as impish creatures or demons, sometimes headless men on horses that carried their heads, riding flame horses, and their appearance was a death omen to anyone that encountered them. A group of hunters known as the fairy host also haunt Samhain and kidnap people. Similarly are the Slog, who would come from the west to enter houses and steal people's souls. As the Middle Age progressed, turned into fire festivals, bonfires, to protect people from fairies and witches. Carved turnips called jack-o'-lanterns begin to appear, attached by strings to sticks and embedded with coal. Later, Irish tradition switched to pumpkins. All right, in Wales, men tossed burning wood at each other in violent games, set off fireworks. Then there was dumb supper, all these demonic things, okay? Listen to this. As Christianity gained a foothold in pagan communities, church leaders attempted to reframe Samhain as a Christian celebration. The first attempt was by Pope Boniface in the 5th century. He moved the celebration to May 13th and specified it as a day of celebrating saints and martyrs. The fire festivals of October and November, however, did not end with this decree. All right, then talks about the Pope tried to make it November 1st. All Souls Day would be November 2nd. So they tried turning this into this Christian thing. Trick-or-treating is said to have been derived from ancient Irish and Scottish practices and the nights leading up to Samhain. In Ireland, mumming was the practice of putting on costumes and going door to door and singing songs to the dead. Cakes were given as payment. Halloween pranks were also tradition in Samhain, though in ancient celebration, tricks were typically blamed on fairies. And then it talks about the, Wicca celebrating Samhain on many forms, ceremonies turning into Halloween, celebrating and worshiping their ancestors. Wiccans looked at Samhain as a passing of the year and incorporating Samhain traditions in the celebration. Talks about Druid rituals, trick-or-treating. During some Celtic celebrations of Samhain, villagers disguise themselves in costumes made of animal skins to blend in with the unwelcome demonic spirits. In later centuries, people began dressing as ghosts, demons, and other spiritual creatures, performing antics in exchange for food and drink. These customs, known as mumming, date back to Middle Ages or trick-or-treating. So that is what this came from, guys. This came from a pagan holiday where people dressed up to blend in with demonic spirits and to give treats to these demonic spirits and these fairies, so these fairies and demonic spirits would not attack them. How could we celebrate this? Some of you say, well, we're going to redeem Halloween. Redeem means to buy back, and God does not want to buy back pagan holidays. God does not want pagan holidays. So I don't know why we think as Christians we should always get involved and blend in with the world, because Halloween, here's the bottom line, promotes things contrary to the Christian faith. I don't know what these little things are flying around my office. Halloween promotes things like witchcraft, which Leviticus chapter 20 says anyone that does witchcraft should be killed. Deuteronomy 18, God detests witchcraft and medium and sorcerers and all of these things. Ephesians 5:11, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, rather expose them. So if we're following the Bible says not only have nothing to do with it, but expose it, which is what I'm doing here today. And I read you a secular article that says how demonic this is. You don't even need discernment to know that Halloween is demonic. It glorifies Satan. It's all about darkness. I know you're like, well, I don't want my kids to miss out. I do. I want them to miss out on a demonic pagan holiday. And you're like, well, everything else is pagan. Yeah, but not everything else celebrates demonic things and is demonic. You go to Home Depot, it's all demons. And we detest these things all year long until this one night we think it's okay. I don't understand this, guys. I don't understand this. As pagan holidays, it's about occult and witchcraft. It promotes fear and darkness. It's against everything we believe. It promotes alternative beliefs, fear, gore, sexual things, all these things that go against what we teach. All right, now, I want to show you some. Now, I got that out in 7 minutes. I want to show you like 4 or 5 minutes of some reactions to influencers and people that used to be witches and warlocks. This is Julie Lopez. I've had her on my show before. I've done podcasts with her. She was a witch for many years. Let's hear what she has to say about it. I know some of you are like, who cares what they have to say about it? I do. Why, as normal people, are we ignorant when we think that their opinion doesn't matter when they were in witchcraft for years? They celebrated witchcraft for years. They were involved in darkness for years. What they say matters. Of course, they know more than you do about darkness and witchcraft. So let's just hear their opinion. I'm interested in it. The only people that aren't are influencers that want to advocate and promote Halloween. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right, let's listen to this.
I come from 5 generations of witches, and this is why I don't celebrate Halloween.
5 generations of witches.
Halloween promotes fear, darkness, and death. During this night, a lot of sacrifices and blood rituals are done. When I used to be a witch, we used to do rituals and sacrifices.
She said, when I used to be a witch, we used to do rituals and sacrifices. So she did this on Halloween.
We used to be so involved in witchcraft that my dad committed suicide. He was being tormented by these demons. My spirit guide started to torment me. He wanted my blood, so I tried to commit suicide. My family was destroyed. After being involved in the occultism, we struggled with poverty, infirmity, addictions, and mental health issues. One day, I encountered the love of Jesus, and I was set free forever. I stopped being tormented by these demons, and the Lord restored me and my family.
She has a radical testimony of coming out of the occult. I have her on my channel. You can just type in Isaiah Saldivar and Julie Lopez. Okay, so that's one witch, ex-witch, that says she doesn't celebrate it, all right? Now, this guy was one of the leaders of the Church of Satan. Let's hear what he has to say about Halloween.
Halloween is the highest day on the Satanic calendar. It is the most probably important day on the Satanic calendar.
Now, this guy was a leader for like 5 or 6 years in the Church of Satan. So for those of you like, who cares what he has to say? Just listen.
It's considered a high day. It is also the night of the year where there is the most human sacrifice on the whole planet. So if we look at it in a, let's call it the popular culture aspect first. So many people think Halloween is about candy and it's about dress up, but they don't question the meaning behind it. So let's say, for instance, in a neighborhood or an area, there's homes that celebrate Halloween, where they put up the decorations and they do the pumpkins and they do the candles and the candy, those things, right? And it's fun. Let's say in a neighborhood, there is houses that do that. So that whole perimeter
Once
becomes
again, you can say, oh, I don't believe this, but he's just telling his testimony.
one big satanic ritual for that whole neighborhood.
Wait. So you're telling me, because I've got them already up, it's September. There's skeletons, there's creepy stuff in our neighborhood already. So you're saying my neighborhood right now is cooked? Like, what are you saying there?
You said cooked.
So I'm saying that in a neighborhood or a area perimeter where there is a few homes, that is already a set up as in terms of a hotspot for demonic activity.
Okay, so there's one of the leaders of the Church of Satan. Who's this? Oh, we've had her on too. Ashley Jones, ex-witch. Let's hear what she has to say about it. Again, these are people that came out of the occult, not your favorite little Christian influencer that's always riding the line and compromising. These are people that came out of that world.
Someone who was a self-proclaimed white witch and practiced witchcraft for over a decade of her life before she radically got saved and encountered by Jesus Christ. Let's
She's
talk
one of
about
the best communicators online, by the way. Shout out to her.
all the things surrounding Halloween that you should know. Spiritual realities like jack-o'-lanterns have a demonic origin. Costumes have a demonic origin. Trick-or-treating has a demonic origin. Let's talk about the spiritual reality that weeks, months before Halloween, witches and warlocks are walking the streets of your neighborhood taking back spiritual territory. Let's talk about the spiritual reality that witches and warlocks go into these stores and they curse every single piece of candy, every costume, and every piece of decor that you're going to bring into your home. Let's talk about the spiritual reality that Halloween is the most demonically charged day of the year and that witches, Satanists, occultists, New Agers, warlocks prepare for this day all year round. Let's talk about the spiritual reality that the Church of Satan has an intent behind the costumes you put on your children to swap their identity in the spirit even just for one night a year. Let's talk about the spiritual reality of the rituals, the seances, and the sacrifices that are performed before Halloween to prepare the spiritual atmosphere before this day. I mean, there's so much that I could talk about as somebody who was in witchcraft, who was doing these things, seeing these things, that I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt is true and a spiritual reality. And I intend to. But most importantly, let's talk about the spiritual reality that Jesus is King, that he has overcome, that the devil does not even have one day a year because this is the day that the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. Let's talk about the spiritual reality that you as a Christian have and the authority that you walk in because of he who lives in.
She's not celebrating it, obviously. I've done she's been on my show as well. You could type in her name and my name, Ashley Jones, and then Isaiah Saldivar. All right. How about John Ramirez, ex-Satanic High Priest? I've done a show with him as well. I've interviewed most all these people. Listen to what he has to say.
The enemy said people celebrate Halloween, right? I'm gonna be the Little Mermaid, the marine spirit. That's what you're gonna be, a water spirit. You're gonna change your identity for one night. Open doors and gateways and portals. Now the devil owns legal rights because you open the door because you want to dress a little Ariel. I dress like the crab guy. Yeah, marine spirit too. And we dress like these things and
And he's joking about, obviously, you're dressing as marine spirit, but his point is you're dressing up in demonic things. That's the point he's making.
Become these things, and we become part of an identity that is dead. But you don't hear Satanists. Oh, I can't wait for Good Friday to go to church. Can't wait. I'm gonna take off my black clothes. I'm gonna iron it. I'm gonna do my nails in black. You know, I can't wait to go there and sing hallelujah because they fear the devil more than we fear God. Pastor, we were talking in the car. He said something to me that brought revelation, and I'm gonna bring it to you. I didn't say it in the last services. See, the devil has power, but he doesn't have the right power against the right believer.
Okay, let's listen to the last clip here. This guy, I think he's like a Catholic exorcist or something, but the point is I want you to hear what he has to say about Halloween.
Most dangerous season of the year for the homeless. I'm like, well, why is that? Are they eating bad candy? What's going on here? He's like, no. They have these vans that come around and they tell the homeless they're going to take them to the shelter. They've got whole big meals set up for them and showers and they can wash their clothes and all this. A lot of them get in the vans and go, and then they tie them up and they hold them for the 31st. And then they sacrifice them on the evening of Halloween to the devil. And it's like a perfect crime because nobody's looking for them.
Wow. You listen to that and you still...
All right, then there's my video. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the bottom line. Don't celebrate Halloween. If one person decides, like, I'm not going to get involved in this demonic holiday, then it's worth it, okay? By the way, this video is coming out Wednesday. And Friday in 2 days. I'm going to be going live Halloween night, 5 o'clock Pacific time, casting out demons, praying against spiritual warfare, praying spiritual warfare prayers. So if you want to get demons cast out of you, if you want to go to war against the devil on Halloween night, join my live stream Friday night, 5 o'clock Pacific time. Also, pray about becoming a monthly partner. You'll get a free copy of my book, how to cast out demons, everything you need to know about deliverance. You'll get a free copy of this. You'll get 70 sermons, 20% off the merch store. And then January, we start our weekly prayer calls again. You'll get invited to. If you monthly partner on my website, isaiahsaldivar.com/partner. Please pray about doing it. Helps us out tremendously. Keep putting this content out. Keep doing what we're doing full time and not having to charge for it. So you can do that. Give any amount on my website monthly and you'll get access to all of that. You'll get an email personally from me. Really appreciate you guys. Send this to friends and family that are celebrating Halloween. Let's boycott the devil this year.